Welcome back to the weekly recap. I'm Matt Wacker. The talk of the town this week has been the standoff at the Rolla Post Office. At around 2:30 p.m. on July 9th, the Rolla Police Department received a call of an armed suspect who had barricaded himself inside the post office. While initially reported as a hostage situation, that was apparently not the case. The man, postal employee Benedict Benito, was at the office with the intention of taking his own life while other employees were present. Co-workers attempted to talk Benito down, later stating that they were never threatened or held hostage. Police blocked off the area and attempted to negotiate with Benito, who eventually went silent. The Rolla SWAT unit then entered the post office, finding Benito's body. The Rolla Police Department is currently investigating the incident in hopes of finding a motive. If you're searching for employment or a place to start a new business, look no further than Lebanon, Missouri. Efforts to boost economic development have paid off, and the forecast for the future is promising. We spoke with the president and CEO of Regional Economic Development, Inc., Brian Thompson, to find out more.
Brian, Lebanon is traditionally a manufacturing town, but I know recently your organization has made a push for retail businesses. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. We started a partnership with a firm out of Texas called Buxton, and through that partnership, we've been able to get more aggressive on the retail front. And fortunately, we've already seen some successes, so we're just trying to keep that ball rolling. Slim Chickens has come to town, Sally Beauty, Denny's, a number of different entities like that. So we just seem to keep having some success. So kind of where hard work and luck meet the road, and we've had that happen for us in the last 2 or 3 years. So very fortunate.
The unemployment rate reported in May was the lowest since 2006, I know. So talk a little bit about that and those numbers.
I certainly think so. Our employers have been really good about adding jobs in recent years. The lowest in 11 years for May, but back in March and April, the lowest in 17 years. So you have to go all the way back to the year 2000 to find lower unemployment rate. Still working on trying to build our labor force. So we're kind of in a unique situation where we're looking for people as much as looking to bring in new jobs. So we have probably 200 or 300 on average jobs available each month right now in our community. So if anybody's looking for one, come on down. We hopefully can have one for you.
I know there's been recent upheaval in the city government there in Lebanon. How has that affected the economic development of your community?
Well, it's one of those things I've mentioned to someone else. It certainly doesn't help as far as marketing folks, being able to search Google, whatever the case may be, and see some of the things going on. But if a business sees our community and they realize they can do business there and be successful, they'll kind of overlook those things. So I don't say it hurts as much as it doesn't help.
You've talked about having outside the box thinking. Mm-hmm. What does that mean for the city of Lebanon?
Well, for us, it means, you talked about the manufacturing background, and that's kind of the old school way, the way things are always done. But now we're getting into a situation where entrepreneurs and the small businesses, like in about a 10-year span from 2002 to 2013, we added more jobs from businesses 2 to 99 employees, and they actually overhauled the losses we had in manufacturing. So it's those small firms, if you start adding them together, they make the same kind of impact as, say, a 200 or 300 person manufacturer. So you got to think outside the box, and all problems are interrelated. So you can't just focus on one thing. There's, you got to work on the schools and building up your future workforce and communities and nonprofits. And so you just really got to bundle it all together versus maybe the old days of just going after a smokestack, as they say, manufacturing. So
coming up this year, number one priority?
Oh, talk about on the spot right there. Just you keep things moving the way they are. I hate to say status quo, but we've really been on a good streak as of late. The last 2 or 3 years, mentioning that lower unemployment rate, adding people to the workforce. I guess if I really narrowed it down, it would be finding ways to market and add people to our workforce and convince them and show them why Lebanon's a great place to live and work. I know it's cliche, but it's a true statement. And just working along those lines and trying to bring more people in for those jobs we have available.
What can we expect to see in new development or possibly redevelopment over the next 12 months?
I think it's going to be an exciting time. You're starting to see some housing development pick up. You're starting to see there's more retail on the way, knock on wood somewhere. But we're seeing a lot of interest in our community. Just had a recent West Coast trip and tried to recruit some retail, and they're strongly looking at it. So I think you'll see more retail. Our industries continue to add, not only needing to add people, but they're adding facilities. So you'll see continued building there. I think it's going to be an exciting 12 months.
Thank you, Brian Thompson. Matt, back to you.
Missouri flood victims have received over $66 million in aid payments since the declaration of a federal disaster on June 2nd. $10.2 million of that money was awarded to survivors by FEMA, while another $9.1 million was dispersed to applicants by the U.S. Small Business Administration. The remainder has gone through the National Flood Insurance Program, where claims are still being processed. FEMA has also received funds to facilitate psychological services for those affected by the flooding. August 1st is the deadline for individual assistance loans and physical damage loans. Those interested should visit disasterassistance.gov for more information. The Rolla Public Library is now involved in a legal battle after blocking a group from using their public meeting room. New Approach Missouri advocates for the legalization of medical marijuana. New Approach claims they wanted to train interested parties on how to properly collect signatures for petitions to get their issue on the 2018 ballot. The library allegedly rejected their request on the grounds of proximity to a children's area, which they felt conflicted with New Approach's mission statement. The library board has issued no official statement at this time. Well, it's mid-July, and that means two things: tremendous heat and county fairs. Attendance at this year's Merrimack Community Fair was higher than usual. For the 31st annual fair, the board promoted free Wi-Fi, courtesy of none other than Fidelity Communications, and opted to accept credit cards at the gate instead of the usual cash-only situation. Fair Board President Emily Garcia also said that the attendance at this year's fair was high, thanks in part to an increase in presence on social media. Lebanon was the place to be for the Laclede County Fair this week. Each night held a special event, including Tuesday's event, the Antique Tractor Pull. Each year, the carnival plays host to the Southwest Missouri Antique Tractor Pullers Association as drivers compete for the best pull of the event.
My name's Dean Sharp. I'm the president of SWMATPA, that is Southwest Missouri Antique Tractor Pullers Association. We're generally out of Bolivar, but we have pullers from all over the state of Missouri. We usually at the Laclede County Fair have anywhere from 80 to 140 hooks. So we have Division 2, 3, and 5. Division 2 is 3 mile an hour, Division 3 is 4 mile an hour, and Division 5 is 12 miles an hour. We usually hold about 8 pulls a year. We have a benefit pull every year. Last year we did for Children's Miracle Network, and this year we're doing for Isabel's house in Springfield. Our youngest pullers are, and it depends on the kid and the parent. The parent has to be with them when they're pulling, but our youngest pullers have been around 8 years old, and the parent has to be with them. And we have some girls that's pulled with us that's been 8 and 10 years old. And then we range all the way up to guys that are 75 and 80 years old. Actually, at the Missouri State Fair, last year there was a guy there that was 90. Our group itself has been coming to Laclede County Fair, putting on this pull for probably about 12 years. We're here at the fairgrounds once a year, and then I try to bring the NATPA into Lebanon as often as possible. We do that generally once a year.
The West Plains Heart of the Ozarks Fair will be held July 17th through the 22nd. With more on this, here's Ben Gronowski, who's outstanding in the field.
Thank you, Matt. I think that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
No, Ben. You're literally standing out in the middle of a field.
Right. Gotcha. Well, Matt, this isn't going to be just a field much longer, as it's set to host the Heart of the Ozarks Fair. Major attractions get started on the 17th as the circus arrives. The Bud Mayberry Bull Ride follows on the 18th and the 19th. Then, local favorite, the Tractor and Truck Pull on the 21st and 23rd respectively. Don't forget about the 4-H and FFA clubs that are holding a wide array of livestock shows, exhibitions, and contests throughout the duration of the fair. Finally, the Fun Time Show Amusement Carnival will be here to provide all the rides and games. Tickets for all this are $7, and kids under 6 are free. With that, back to you, Matt.
A Rolla man is under arrest after apparently hiding under an area residence. 33-year-old Philip Rowland was discovered by the residents of a house, who then investigated and were attacked by Rowland. After fleeing the scene, police found Rowland on June 30th, and he has been charged with burglary and unlawful use of a weapon. A local woman was found guilty of possession of marijuana on July 5th. 28-year-old Ashley Bunton was charged with possession after an incident that occurred at the Phelps County Jail. On July 21st of last year, a deputy from the Phelps County Sheriff's Department served an arrest warrant to Bunton and found her and her boyfriend about to smoke marijuana in their vehicle. After being arrested, her boyfriend apparently passed Bunton his marijuana for safekeeping. The exchange was seen by deputies and the drugs were seized. A jury deliberated for about 20 minutes before finding Bunton guilty. Her sentencing date is September 18th. A man from Pottersville is in custody following an incident of familial violence. 19-year-old Zach Burris is charged with domestic assault and unlawful use of a weapon after allegedly attacking his own mother. According to police, Burris and his mother were having an argument in which she knocked over some of Burris's guitar and archery equipment. The woman claims that while she was sleeping, Burris attacked her with a fishing pole, hitting her in the back and legs, and then in the head as she attempted to leave. Burris's mother also claims her son fired a gun at her as she fled the residence. Burris admitted to the assault, but denies firing a weapon. He is being held in the Howell County Jail. Conway, Missouri may seem like a simple small town, but twice a year it is home to the Starby Creek Bluegrass Festival. The festival most recently featured 11 bluegrass bands from all over the country, including Grammy Award winner and member of the International Bluegrass Hall of Fame, Doyle Lawson, and Quicksilver.
All right.
My name's Don Day. It's the Starby Creek Bluegrass Festival. Most usually that's what we have, is 11 bands total each festival. Well, it took like 32 years to build this thing, you know, and now I call them or they'll call me, you know. Well, it's Doyle Lawson and Quicksilver, Jeff Brown, and Still Lonesome's their name, and Bluegrass Martins. They're from Jefferson City, Missouri, and a great group. And Casey and the Attaboys, the Punch's family. I usually book them about a year ahead. We have some restaurants and convenience stores and grocery stores maybe to help us print our program here. There's about 30 acres that it takes to have put this festival on. It's always on the first Saturday in July, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. This year it ended up the 29th and the 30th of June and July 1. And the one we have in September is the third Saturday in September. That's what determines when it is the Saturday. This year it's the 14th, 15th, and 16th, because I bring in top entertainers for both of them.
That'll do it. I hope you enjoyed watching. I'm Matt Wacker, and I will see you next time. The weekly recap is brought to you by Price Chopper, Cooking from Scratch, the Travers Automotive Group, the UPS Store of Rolla, Beck Motors of Owensville, Bayer Dodge of West Plains, Hanging by a Thread, Mimi's Home Helpers, and Tailor Your Insurance.